Thank you, US. May I invite Bangladesh? Bangladesh, you have the floor.
Thank you, Excellency, for giving Bangladesh the floor. And let me first congratulate you and your team for the excellent work. If you recall, if I may share a personal conversation that I had with you when you visited Bangladesh towards the beginning of the year, I had said that this COP was going to be a litmus test for multilateralism. And I had also flagged the issue that the UN process, as it is currently structured, relies on consensus. And we also don't have an approved terms of reference for the entire COP process. It's been over 30 years, but still we have not been able to agree. So those were constraints. And I think what is perhaps one of the most impressive parts of this COP is, unlike in the past when we have all tried to hide behind the term consensus, we have tried to use that to protect our national positions. This is the first time that we have perhaps come out of our respective comfort zones and tried to look at the bigger picture. And we have all along said that consensus has to be on the basis of science. When the first draft was presented, we expressed, and we didn't mince words, that we were extremely disappointed because it didn't capture the ambition, and the North Star that you had talked about, I said, was now hiding behind dark clouds. I think over the last 2 days, thanks to the work and your initiative and that of your team, and our collective will, because at the end of the day, this is a member-driven process, and we have to really decide what we want to achieve. We have been able to remove those clouds. And what I see as significant is that this is the 28th COP. Between COP1 and COP27, we basically moved from one COP to the other. And here, I think we have not just transitioned, there is a potential of a game-changing outlook in terms of how we look at the COP processes, and we thank you, your leadership, and the team in that regard. The 1.5 degrees Celsius goal, and we have made it abundantly clear, this is not a political ask. This is not countries such as Bangladesh, LDCs, and climate vulnerable countries are asking for. It's not a political statement. It is the absolute upper limit that science tells us we can go to. And we feel that this then shapes the entire discourse in terms of mitigation, adaptation, funding, loss and damage, the entire chain. And let us not forget that the better we are at keeping temperature increase to within 1.5, the lesser will be the resources needed for adaptation. The lighter will be the burden on loss and damage. So this is critical. And as we unpack the text of the GST, I'm sure there will be issues which will require further clarification, which will require further discussion. And that the fundamental principle that we are going to have is the 1.5. So this is the spirit that we take out from here. When you convened the Majlis, Your Excellency, I think you used the words to the effect that we come in here with problems, with solutions, with fears, with apprehensions, and we want to go out of the Majlis with a solution. I think we are on the path to a solution through COP28, and again, we thank you for your initiative. Trust, solidarity is going to be absolutely imperative. Even if we had the perfect text, and we know that no text can be perfect, and this text is also not perfect, but it lays the foundation, given continued trust, given continued goodwill, given continued empathy, given continued solidarity, we can build on it. And I think that is what we take back. Of course, we would have liked more specificity, more concrete steps. Adaptation is really a life and death issue for a lot of parties who are represented around the table. We cannot compromise on adaptation. We cannot compromise on lives and livelihoods. So the finance delivery, rather than just reporting what has been done, should actually be geared towards action to delivering the resources that we need. And that is absolutely fundamental. So as we go back with certainly better spirits, we also have to keep in mind that the real test is delivery on this. And if I may say so, we came to UAE and we looked upon it as the Asia COP. We wanted to show that not just UAE, but Asia can also deliver. And I think all of us, and I thank all of the delegates that we have been able to do that. At least we have got off to a start. This is not the finish line. We have started on a line where everyone starts together. And I think this is the real achievement of this COP. UAE, as we know, and Dubai is a city of dreams. The impossible comes true. And this is a nation that was diving for pearls for thousands of years. And you are now reaching for the furthest stars in the galaxy. Let us also reach for that. And I believe that this COP is really going to set the tone for all future COPs. Let us have that trust, let us have that empathy, let us have that solidarity, so that we can, in fact, when we look back at this COP, 5 or 10 years from now, we can say that this was indeed, in delivery, a game-changing COP. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Bangladesh. I'd like to invite Bolivia to take the floor. Bolivia, you have the floor.